Hi, I'm Steve Adubato, and I don't want to waste any time because we've been wanting this gentleman on with us for a long time, and we have him. He is Jeff Jarvis, journalist, author, professor at the Newmark Graduate School of Journalism at CUNY, City University of New York. Also has a media blog, buzzmachine.com, and the author of this book. I love this book. He's got many books, but this one, Public Parts, How Sharing in the Digital Age Improves the Way We Live and Work. Hey, what year was this published, Jeff?
Oh, it's been a while. It's probably about 6 years.
Okay, so here's the setup question. 6 years after, the digital age, does it improve, in your view, the way we live and work together, particularly a year plus into this pandemic?
Yes, I think it does. That's a minority opinion, I know, because these days only dystopia and moral panic tend to sell about the internet. But I think very importantly, Steve, to look at the last year, in the last 4 years of Trump, the internet had the opportunity to answer him. Yes, he used it for his ill, but we got to use it as well. But far more important than that, I think, were the movements of Me Too and Black Lives Matter. Mass media, the media that I've worked in my whole career, run by people who look like me and you, old white men, I'm older than you, did not give proper representation to all kinds of communities, and social media did. The hashtag is a platform. Black Lives Matter, I hope, leads finally to a racial reformation in America. And that's made possible because the internet gave people a way to speak that media didn't. And these days we hear media trying to dismiss the internet and everyone on it. And I think that would be a dire mistake.
Follow up on this on the media. A friend of mine the other day said, yeah, you guys on PBS, you lean to the left, right? I said, I'm sorry, what? Well, whose side are you on? Are you with Biden? Are you're against Trump? I said, no, we actually try to talk about what's going on and make sense of things. No, seriously, whose side are you on? Here's the question. Have we gotten to the point where the vast majority of Americans simply consume, Jeff Jarvis, what they want to consume or need to consume in their minds via the media that simply reinforces what they think they already believe, versus we don't have a horse in this race. We just want to talk about what's going on and try to make sense of it. Or am I being too idealistic, Jeff?
That belief in echo chambers and filter bubbles, I think, was the common belief around the net. But this last year, I read a book by an Australian researcher named Axel Bruns. The book's title is a question: are filter bubbles real? And his answer is no. He pulled together tons of research out there that says that people don't just befriend the people who agree with them. They don't just listen to one side. They are aware of other sides. Do we have a problem in internet discourse? Yes, we do. But I think that's early days, Steve. I think that in a sense, I'm working on a book about the end of the Gutenberg age. And what I've learned, I think, is that the early days of media were conversational. And somewhere along the line with mass media, we lost that ability. We are a society relearning how to hold a conversation with ourselves.
So let me ask you, trust, distrust of, quote, mainstream media, President Trump, enemy of the people, Jim Acosta's book of the same title, fake news, all of that. What impact do you believe, Jeff, has it had on people's ability to trust us?
I think it's a malign influence, but there's more than just that. Trust in American journalism started falling in the 70s. I've never fully understood why. It could be because papers became monopolies in a lot of towns by then. It could be because the news destroyed Richard Nixon. I don't know why it is, but it started falling then. And there's other factors today. I think that there are malign actors within the media. People say often, well, I don't like the media, but they do like one outlet or another. They like you, Steve Adubato, and they trust what you have to say. But they, in the same breath, could say they dislike the media. I dislike what Fox News has done to American democracy. I dislike what Rupert Murdoch has done to it. That's my view of the media. And actually, I think that in all honesty, the majority of media do have a liberal worldview. And in fact, what that results in is that Gallup had a survey about 2 years ago that said that the single most trusted outlet in news was Fox News. That's because there's one of them and then all the rest of liberal media. So I actually believe we need more conservative media to compete with Fox to change the balance of the ecosystem.
But Jeff, respectfully, because I have so much respect for you, people say that as a cliche, but in your case, it's true. But don't we need more? And I'm not going to turn this into a commercial for public broadcasting. You say we need more conservative media. There's America A1 News, whatever the heck it's called. There's Newsmax. Don't we need more public broadcasting, or broadcasting that does not have an agenda, that does not have a horse in the race, that does not have a point of view, but it's breaking things down and having other voices heard? Isn't that what we need more of?
I think media with a public agenda, yes, that's true. But I also think that one thing we've lost in media is a certain transparency, is a certain honesty. Right? The New York Times is basically liberal in its viewpoint. The fact that it wouldn't say that means that a lot of people would not trust it. If I can't trust you to say that, then what else can I trust you with? So I think that transparency is the new objectivity, as a friend of mine once said. And that we've got to be honest about our own worldviews and our own perspectives and our own lived experience. And then we have to value other lived experiences. There's an author named Lewis Raven Wallace who wrote a book as a transgender journalist who was fired from NPR because he wouldn't hold up to NPR's standards of objectivity. Wesley Lowery, former Washington Post journalist, wrote a great op-ed in the New York Times a few months ago that said that objectivity is fundamentally a racist construct, because again, it's people who look like us who get to decide what is objective and what is biased. So I think we've got to value other people's lived experiences and perspectives more, and recognize that we all come to the news with different perspectives. Then we can try to find where we have common ground. I reread recently, Steve, Hannah Arendt's Origins of Totalitarianism. And there was one particular piece in there that really instructed me, where she said that people under a totalitarianism give up their everyday concerns for abstract notions. That's what I think we see happening in politics today. I don't believe that the Second Amendment and guns and abortion or cancel culture is the most important thing in people's lives. I think the most important things in people's lives is the same for you and me. It's about our family and their welfare. And if we can have media talk about those real concerns in people's lives, then I think we can start to see change. But political coverage is too often an agenda set around abstract notions.
Before I let you go, are you optimistic or hopeful about the, quote, next generation of media in our country?
Very. I teach at the City University of Newark at the Craig Newmark Graduate School of Journalism, to get that plug in. I created a new degree in social journalism there with my colleague, Carrie Brown. These are journalists who, when they come in, we tell them, all right, learn what we teach you and then question everything we teach you. And they do that. Oh, they do that. And they come up with really creative new ways to imagine serving the public through journalism. They are the ones who make me very optimistic.
Jeff Jarvis, when you're optimistic, it gives reason for the rest of us to be optimistic as well. Jeff Jarvis, journalist, author, professor at the Newmark Graduate School of Journalism at City University of New York. Jeff, all the best. Thank you so much for being a role model for all of us who try to do the best we can in media. Thanks, Jeff.
Thank you for the conversation.
You got it. I'm Steve Adubato. We'll be right back.
State of Affairs with Steve Adubato is a production of the Caucus Educational Corporation. Funding has been provided by TD Bank, Johnson & Johnson, Summit Health, NJM Insurance Group, New Jersey Sharing Network, Horizon Blue Cross Blue Shield of New Jersey, the New Jersey Education Association, United Airlines, and by Operating Engineers, Local 825. Promotional support provided by the New Jersey Business and Industry Association. And by New Jersey Monthly.
I'm Miles, and this is what I work for. To be my best for them and for me, in body and in mind. I need a health insurer that helps me get the care I need for both, that has mental health professionals that I can talk to when I need to, because when I feel strong and secure, so do they. This is my life. And this is how Horizon Blue Cross Blue Shield of New Jersey works for me.